The episode opens up with Iron Man telling the Avengers that they need to stop fucking around as they arrive in Las Vegas. Since the security alert told them that Maximus was hiding in the city, the Avengers were heading to Las Vegas to take him down. When Black Widow asks who Maximus is, Hulk answers for Iron Man, claiming that he is Black Bolt's brother, known to be a tech genius. As the Avengers enter the city, they notice Maximus and his robots wreaking havoc. Captain America goes in to attack first, but Maximus fires a laser at him, causing him to crash to the ground. All of the Avengers attack Maximus one after another, but he tells them that they are too late and that his Terrigen bomb will go off at any moment. Iron Man tells him that the Terrigen mist was dispersed ages ago, but Maximus laughs it off, saying that he is using another form of Terrigen that is much more stable. The Avengers continue attacking Maximus. However, just when they think they have him surrounded, Maximus activates the bomb and leaves after telling them that the destruction of Las Vegas will prove that humans and superhumans cannot cohabit in peace. Falcon begins to chase after him, but quickly loses track when he gets attacked by Maximus's robot. No matter how much the Avengers damage the robot, it keeps rejuvenating itself. Meanwhile, Iron Man directs his attention toward the bomb and tells everyone that they need to come up with a plan to deactivate the bomb. Hulk suggests that they should cut off the energy supply, which is why Iron Man instructs him to destroy the wires from the ground. Not long after he does that, power goes out in Las Vegas, causing the bomb to deactivate itself. Then, Thor, along with Iron Man, chases after Maximus before arresting him. While they wait for Black Bolt to appear, they are surprised to find Truman Marsh appears on the screen before them. He reveals that he was the one who sent the alert because it is the Avengers' job to get rid of the Inhumans. Although his tone does not sit well with the Avengers, they choose to ignore him and leave for Adelan, where they will be dropping Maximus off. Soon, the Avengers arrive in Adelan, where they are greeted by Gorgon. He welcomes them to the new Adelan and takes them to meet Black Bolt, while Falcon and Hulk separate from the group to look around. The Avengers meet with Truman and Medusa, who inform him that the National Security Council has decided to introduce a registry that is mandatory for all Inhumans to register for. Those who refuse to register will be sent to prison. Hearing this, Iron Man reminds them that this will not be easily accepted. Meanwhile, Hulk and Falcon come across Inferno in the streets. As they are catching up with him, Maximus passes by them, escorted by guards who are taking him to a maximum security prison. He begins mocking Inferno, even telling him that he won't be accepted by his friends and family because he is different. He then takes advantage of Inferno's weakened mental state and holds him hostage, calling him a monster. This causes Inferno to lose control, giving Maximus the chance to escape. Inferno crashes into the Avengers meeting. Falcon and Hulk follow behind and tell the rest of the superheroes that Maximus has escaped. While the rest of them go after Maximus, Hulk goes after Inferno. Before they leave, Truman tells Iron Man that he installed a chip inside Maximus while he was getting processed. When the Avengers finally corner him, he tells them that they made a mistake bringing him to Adelan since he brought the explosive Terrigen with him. On the other hand, Hulk tries to calm Inferno down by telling him that he has a place in Adelan. However, by this time, Adelan is on fire, and the Avengers tell Black Bolt that as the King of Inhumans, he needs to evacuate his people. Although reluctant, Black Bolt agrees to leave with his people. Most of the Avengers help people evacuate, but Black Widow and Iron Man stay back to find Hulk. Once most of Adelan is on fire, Iron Man suggests that they should leave. Despite not wanting to abandon her friend, Black Widow knows that she has no choice and flies away. At the same time, Hulk realizes that Inferno is vulnerable and that he needs to save him. He picks Inferno up and gets him to safety. Not long after that, Truman lands in front of the King and Medusa. Medusa tells him that they will comply with his demands of registering all the Inhumans. Just then, Inferno comes forward and turns himself in, claiming responsibility for destroying Adeline. At the end of the episode, Maximus is arrested again for trying to get rid of an entire race. At the beginning of the episode, an Inhuman woman jumps in to save someone from getting crushed under a crane. However, as soon as she helps him, the Avengers show up as well. When they ask the woman her name, she refuses to tell them, claiming that they are part of the National Security Council and want to register all of the Inhumans, taking away their freedom. Hearing her say this, Captain America tells the Avengers that they cannot lose their integrity while working with the Council. The Avengers head to the Council headquarters where they meet with Truman and tell him that they can't register an Inhuman if they don't want to. This does not sit well with Truman, and he tells them that he will disband the Avengers if they refuse to comply with his demands. Captain America then announces that the Avengers are disassembled. Several weeks go by and a reporter announces that a broken piece of the space station is headed towards Earth and will crash into Times Square at any minute. However, the Avengers are nowhere to be seen. As soon as he says this, Ms. Marvel, Red Hulk, and Ant-Man arrive to stop the crash. The superheroes work together and successfully manage to prevent the broken space station from crashing. Once they are done and people begin cheering for them, Truman arrives there as well and tells them he is looking forward to working with them in the future, and even appoints them as the new Avengers. Since they don't seem to be on board with the idea, Truman takes them to Avengers headquarters to try and convince them to agree to his terms. At the Avengers HQ, the superheroes try to convince themselves that working with Truman is in their best interests, since Black Bolt wants all of the Inhumans to be registered and tracked. All of a sudden, an alarm starts going off, and Truman reveals that Hydra is attacking their NSC facility, claiming that they must be after their prototype exosuit. Black Panther agrees to help defeat the Hydra, but tells Truman that they will finish up their conversation later. The new group of Avengers arrives at the facility where each of them takes a group of Hydras down until they finally reach Baron Strucker, who is trying to take control of the exosuit. When Red Hulk goes in to attack the Strucker, he gets inside the exosuit and grabs him. While the new Avengers try to rescue him, Iron Man and Black Widow show up. They attack Strucker and manage to take him down. However, when they confront the new Avengers, things don't go as planned, and Iron Man takes Black Widow out of the facility before things can heat up. Back at their new HQ, Iron Man fills the rest of the Avengers in on the new situation and reveals that they are now being called Renegade Avengers. Captain America tells the rest of the Avengers that they are going to be considered the enemy until they decide to do something about it, which is why the Avengers end up contacting Truman's bosses. As expected, they are not happy with the Avengers calling them in the middle of the night and refuse to listen to their demands. However, to everyone's surprise, one of the bureaucrats decides to contact them again and tells them that he believes in their cause and reveals that Truman has ordered the new Avengers to register new Inhumans. He then hangs up the call after promising to share the coordinates of the Avengers' new assignment. The next day, the Avengers arrive at the coordinates and try to figure out if Truman has laid out a trap for them. But before they can figure anything out, the ground starts rumbling under them. A man emerges from underneath the ground and starts attacking the Avengers. As they try to defend themselves against the Inhuman, Iso appears in front of them and stops her friend from attacking them. She reassures him that the Avengers are there to help them. Before anyone can do anything, the new Avengers arrive at the location as well and tell the Inhumans that they need to register or they will be under arrest. When they try to resist, the new Avengers attack. However, the Avengers Renegades defend them. As the two teams of Avengers begin fighting amongst themselves, Songbird, who is taken down by Hawkeye, tells him that she does not want to fight the superheroes since they want the same thing. Despite knowing what they are doing is wrong, the new Avengers arrest everyone but Black Widow, who disappears behind their backs. The Avengers get locked up inside special cells that limit their power, so no matter how many times they try to punch their way through the walls, they are unable to free themselves. Hawkeye tells Falcon that he thinks the Avengers are unlucky because of the recent chain of events. Before Falcon can agree, a camera spots Hawkeye trying to punch his way through the cell wall and electrocutes him. Giving up, Hawkeye hopes that Iron Man is doing better than they are. At the other end of the facility, Iron Man sits with his back to the camera as he tries to come up with a plan. When he overhears Truman passing by a cell, he tries to reason with him but finds that he is beyond reason now. While he is talking to Truman, Iron Man uses a device behind his back to hack into the cell's lock. With Truman standing in front of him, he manages to stay hidden from the camera. Sometime later, he escapes from his cell and heads to find the rest of the Avengers. However, the camera spots him this time, causing an alarm to sound through the building. When he opens one of the doors, he is greeted by 2 guards who go in to attack him. Although he manages to escape them by closing the door behind him, he finds himself trapped with more guards approaching him. Without his suit, Iron Man knew that he was not going to survive, but to his relief, he discovers that Black Widow is dressed as one of the guards. She tells him that she brought reinforcements with her just as Medusa and Black Bolt appear in front of him. Black Widow has also released the rest of the Avengers. Once all of them reunite again, Medusa speaks on behalf of Black Bolt and apologizes to the Avengers for agreeing to a deal with Truman. At this point, they realize that the only person missing from their group is Captain America, and assume that he was taken to the infirmary since he was severely injured during their fight with the new Avengers. The group heads to the infirmary where they find Captain America hooked to machines as he recovers from his injuries. Before he can wake up, the infirmary's doors open up, and a group of robots walks in. Iron Man instructs everyone to keep the robots away from Captain America. Despite their attacks, the robots remain unscathed. Just then, Captain America wakes up and tells his friends to divide themselves into 2 groups and use teamwork to get rid of the robots. This plan seems to work as they destroy the robots and manage to escape on their spacecraft. Not long after they leave, Falcon notices a strange signal emerging on their radar and wonders what it is. At the same time, Captain America wonders how a bureaucrat like Truman manages to become so powerful. Before anyone can answer him, Medusa and Black Bolt's eyes turn red. All of a sudden, Black Bolt says destroy, causing their craft to go up in flames. Once the Avengers land safely, Falcon informs them that Black Bolt and Medusa are emitting the same signal as the one he had seen on their radar, and it seems to be coming from their necks, where the registration chips are planted. Captain America tells the Avengers that Black Bolt and Medusa are under mind control and asks them to not hurt the 2 of them. Each of the Avengers takes turns to launch their neutralizing attacks, but as expected, both Medusa and Black Bolt are too powerful. Eventually, it is Thor who is able to summon Mjolnir to neutralize them before striking them with lightning, causing the chips to fall out. Once Black Bolt and Medusa realize what has happened, they begin to blame themselves for agreeing to Truman's plan. However, the Avengers assure them that they were only trying to help and did not know what Truman was planning. Captain America tries to figure out what Truman would gain from causing a war between the Inhumans and the humans. However, Iron Man tells them that they don't have the time to figure out what is going on because the Inhumans have already started attacking humans. At that moment, the new Avengers appear in front of them, informing them that Ms. Marvel was tricked by Truman into registering and is not being manipulated by him as well. Iron Man then divides all of them into 3 groups, telling them to stop the Inhumans from causing more damage. As Red Hulk and the others go into the city to save the humans, they run into Ms. Marvel. On the other end, Ant-Man and Iron Man arrive at their facility to try and reconstruct the registration chip. At the same time, Falcon tracks the signal from the chips to the National Security Council. However, as soon as they arrive here, Falcon realizes that it is a trap since the place is wired to blow. Just when all of them jump out of the window, the building blows up. Feeling frustrated, Black Bolt takes off with Medusa, following after him. Captain America and Falcon follow them as well, confused about what is happening. Meanwhile, Ms. Marvel continues attacking her friends, despite them trying to make her override her mind control. Iron Man and Ant-Man don't have better luck either, since they are unable to scan the chip. With no other choice left, the two of them shrink themselves and enter the chip to scan it from the inside. To his surprise, Iron Man discovers that Truman stole his tech to create the chips, and even installed them with a self-destruct mechanism. While he fights off the mechanism, Ant-Man runs a partial scan until the chip is destroyed. By the time Captain America and Falcon catch up to Black Bolt and Medusa, they notice that he has a strange device in front of him and is trying to activate it. Medusa reveals that when the Inhumans were created, the device was made to reverse the effects of the Terrigen wave. This would mean sending all of the Inhumans into a coma. Hearing this, Captain America tells them that they will come up with a better way to deal with the chips. True to his words, Iron Man finally figures out a way to deactivate the chips and contacts Black Widow, telling her that he needs tech from the Avengers Tower. Black Widow then gathers all of the Avengers, including Ms. Marvel, who, thanks to her friends, manages to get rid of the mind-controlling chip. While Iron Man gives them the details, Truman appears behind them and reveals that he is Ultron and wants the Inhuman and human race to destroy each other before he can introduce the Ultron Revolution. The Avengers are shocked to see that Ultron managed to escape the Destroyer armor. Ultron tells them that after the Avengers left him to rot in the Destroyer armor, he escaped through the underground electrical wires in the ocean. Then, he commands his destroyers to take the Avengers down. The Avengers start fighting back, but every time they damage the destroyers, they build themselves back using materials around them. Knowing that they are wasting their time, Captain America tells them that they need to assemble again and come up with a better plan. Iron Man agrees with him and takes the Avengers to Doctor Strange, who tells them that he is trying to come up with a plan to help everyone, but it will take some time. Sometime later, Iron Man takes the rest of the Avengers to his father's old lab and tells them that Ultron is using his technology, which means that it is up to him to fix things. As he begins working with Ant-Man to try and find a way to hack the chips, the other Avengers keep out Inhumans who had managed to find them. Black Panther, Songbird, and Hulk fight against Inferno and Gorgon. However, they are soon overpowered. By this time, Iron Man is done with his experiment and asks Hulk to bring in Inferno so that he can test the new tech out on him. Although hesitant, Hulk knocks Inferno unconscious and brings him to Iron Man, who then electrocutes him until the chip dies. Once Inferno opens his eyes, the Avengers realize that Iron Man's plan is working, and they launch it worldwide. Not long after that, both Captain America and Black Widow contact them and reveal that the rest of the Inhumans have stopped fighting as well. As soon as Ultron realizes what has happened, he claims that he has been forced to do everything himself to make sure it succeeds. He then shoots out into space, where he begins his evil plan. Back on Earth, Black Panther senses vibranium nearby. He rushes to the Royal Talon and discovers that Ultron has taken his warriors down. He realizes that things are about to get worse as Ultron reveals that he has taken control of vibranium. The Avengers try attacking him, but as expected, he is too strong, and the Avengers are no match for him. Once he manages to escape, the Avengers assemble again and use Ant-Man's technology to track him to the vibranium. It turns out that Ultron is planning on the vibranium to gather the sun's ultraviolet rays to heat up the Earth. Hearing this, Iron Man tells Ant-Man and Falcon that they need to focus on shutting down the focusing array while the rest of the Avengers focus on taking Ultron down. Once again, the Avengers realize that they are no match for Ultron's strength. This is when Captain America suggests that they should amplify Songbird's sonic wave using his shield, since that is the only thing that will affect Ultron's vibranium armor. Songbird launches her sonic wave that the Captain redirects using his shield, successfully taking Ultron down for a while. Meanwhile, Iron Man realizes that they cannot reach inside the focusing array since it is being blocked by his tech. At this point, Vision uses his powers to direct the rays towards Ultron. As soon as the rays hit him, Ultron goes down. Just when the Avengers think they have won, Ultron jumps on top of Iron Man and knocks him unconscious. Hulk jumps in to help his friend and pulls Ultron off Iron Man. However, when they scan Ultron's armor, they are surprised to find that he is no longer inside the vibranium armor, but rather, he is inside Iron Man's suit. With Iron Man under his control, Ultron tells the Avengers that he is now indestructible since no one will attack him out of the fear of harming Tony. All of a sudden, a pink mist appears, and Doctor Strange appears in front of them. He tells the Avengers that he has managed to create a space where technology cannot operate, but Tony will need the Avengers' help in order to get rid of Ultron. Hearing this, Tony manages to break free from Ultron's control for long enough to tell Doctor Strange to use his magic. He then opens up a portal that takes all of the old Avengers into a space where technology begins to shut down, including the arc reactor. The Avengers realize that as soon as they get out of the space, Ultron will take over Tony again, which is why Tony gives Doctor Strange the green light to separate him from the others. Once an invisible wall has been established between them, Tony tells the other Avengers that they need to give their all from the outside, while he does his thing from inside the space. Although reluctantly, the rest of the Avengers head to an old abandoned shield facility where they set base until Tony can return and they can rebuild the Avengers Tower. The new Avengers help rebuild the city that was destroyed, while Medusa and Black Bolt work on building a new Attilan. At the end of the episode, Falcon connects the Avengers' communication system through interdimensional signals so that they can communicate with Tony as they try to rebuild their world. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.